Final day of the UAE Tour, destined to be one for the sprinters, but other tales to tell along the way. While jinking and diving around the city-state and then heading off towards the breakwater, our ultimate destination, and a last curve, very technical, with 1.2 kilometres to go. A couple of intermediate sprints with bonus seconds up for grabs. Most of the points taken by a three-man breakaway, two from Astana and one from Groupama Francis de Jeux. But Decker, it was the sprint revelation of the Tour that just wanted those last few points to cushion himself in that green jersey competition. Yes, Battistella, Sobrero and Brunel out front, and for much of the day as well. But they were ultimately wound in by a change in the wind. Last chance for Ineos Grenadiers to put the hurt on Tadej Pogačar and stretch the legs, and the crosswinds meant that there were splits out there. The battles to separate themselves from the pack meant that the breakaway was essentially killed off. And when the direction changed and the wind was taken out of the sails, incidentally, of those that were pushing for the break, mainly by the fact that there were too many teams who had an interest in this not being successful. Sam Bennett found himself in the front group as well. Plenty of the other sprinters' teams were not, and as a result it was essentially killed off. Tadej Pogačar, champion in waiting, a job well done for the UAE Team Emirates. Sadly, Adam Yates took a face plant during this day, and Ineos Grenadiers spent a lot of time waiting for him to be nursed back from the medical car. Had he not been running in second place, it would have perhaps been an exit for Adam Yates, but he said, "I'm okay. Now, if you wouldn't mind, leave me alone to my bruises." Heading then for what was destined to be that sprint finale to the great race. And so sprinters' teams and those lining up were going to be ever so important. The intermediate sprint that came late with 16 kilometres to go was indeed taken by David Decker. And as a result, green belonged to him, no matter what the result at the finale. And what a finale it turned out to be. The big turn with 1.2 to go. So many teams had an interest in it. And with a wide open highway to play with, it looked mob-handed across the road. High curbing on a few twists and turns before the road opened up meant that a few dropped pedals indeed caught it. Stefan Bissiger caught out for EF Education Nippo. Andrei Greipel had ambitions with Israeli startup nation, but the blue train took the lead at exactly the right time on behalf of Sam Bennett. What would be the response of Caleb Ewan and Lotto Soudal? Well, better placement this time by meant that Caleb Ewan had some options, one of which, of course, was to follow Sam Bennett and then mug him at the line. That was the battle plan, but could they action it? The answer was yes. When Sam Bennett was released, the most powerful sprinter here, winning 2 stages so far, would he make it a hat-trick? The answer was no, because Caleb Ewan, looking for that win in the early part of the season, secured it beautifully. Ewan taking the line ahead of Sam Bennett, with the relief palpable for him. Green jersey went to David Decker, who finished just outside the top 10. Sam Bennett, with 2 stage wins, can put this tour down as a success. And now Caleb Ewan, looking deeper into this season, has broken the duck as far as wins are concerned. He looked on rails today. Caleb Ewan taking it ahead of Sam Bennett. Phil Bauhaus, who won here in 2018, in 3rd place ahead of Morkov. Cees-Bol, a good finish for him ahead of Andrei Greipel, Van Drom, Mezgec, Minali and Gidic. Adam Yates and Tadej Pogačar separated by the same margin. Adam Yates carrying some bruises after that tumble today. But Tadej Pogačar doing the job on behalf of the home team. Super work by him, and what a great race it turned out to be. The UAE Tour never disappoints. 7 days of great action.